So I think this is where the negative side of being able to send these resumes out is they don't truly get to see who you are as a person, your personality, what differentiates yourself. You can do the best you can on that piece of paper, but it's not all the way there. So I think that's where we transition into the personal relationship side.
No, I agree. And this is okay. So let me just get into one thing here. This kind of frustrates me, and this is why I stay off of forums, because it's always just a bunch of experts hiding behind an avatar, and you don't know who they really are. Like, you don't have to agree with me, and a lot of people aren't going to on certain things, and that's okay. But I'm going to show you my face, and I'm going to tell you who I am, and you know how to contact me, versus being a keyboard warrior. And there are so many times, and maybe there's just a lot of bad dealerships in the country. I don't know. But there are so many times you go on, and people just crap all over their dealership, their local dealer. Oh, y'all ordered this offline. I can get it for 15% off and free shipping, and it'll be here in 2 days. My dealer, he wants blah. Have you tried to form a relationship at your dealership? You know, either because most of them are small businesses. There are a few exceptions where, you know, one guy owns like 5 or 6 different dealerships. Most of the time, they're small businesses. The owner's usually there at the shop. You've got a parts guy. You've got a mechanic. You probably have a sales guy. Have you tried to be, and I don't want to say become friends, but stop in from time to time. It's okay to spend an extra $10 on something, because guess what? If they find out you're going to be coming in there pretty often, then, you know, they're probably going to work with you on stuff. They're going to go, hey, this guy's a good steward for our shop. The other thing is, tell your friends. You know, if you have a good experience at a dealership, tell your friends about it, and tell them when they go in there, hey, mention my name when you go in. Ask for or ask for so-and-so. You know, those sorts of things. I've done that at multiple dealerships throughout time, because, you know, when you first come in off the street and they don't know who you are, I mean, hopefully they're respectful to you and everything. But if you come in and go, hey, I'm looking for so-and-so, Mario told me, at least at that point, you know, the parts guy up there is familiar with who I am. And, oh, okay, yeah, we'd love to help you out. You know, those sorts of things. And it's not just limited to dealerships, but I know we've had great experiences at local dealers. Lots of times we've gone out and ridden with these guys. But, you know, in my case, I wasn't friends with any of these guys before. And now, you know, Lance, who's a parts guy at Shenandoah Honda and he's over at my house a couple days a week or whatever. And I know some of you are going to go, oh, it's because you have a YouTube channel. And it has nothing to do with that. I mean, these guys I was friends with and developed relationships with long before I started my YouTube channel. And even when it was at, you know, 50 subs or whatever, like, it has nothing to do with that. So don't think that's a limiting thing and go, well, I don't have a big social media following, or I don't have this, or I don't win races. It doesn't matter. I mean, I've got other friends that have good discounts set up with local shops that they're just riders, and they're not racers or anything else. They're just riders.
Yeah. So I think for me, this is the number one part to kind of attack if you're looking for how to get better deals. And it's not just the deals. I think Mario's touched on it. There are so many benefits to going in and building a relationship with your local dealer. You know, if you are racing and you need a part rate before you go, if you've built a relationship over time and it's not in stock, they might take it off another bike and put it on there and get you back out there riding. No, you're not going to get that online. You're not going to get them overnighting a part for you just because you built this relationship. You're just a number when you're buying stuff online.
Yeah, I mean, you can build up, and I'm not going to name the websites because everybody knows who they are. But, you know, a lot of them give like cash back rewards, and you build up a little bank. And guys, your local dealer can do, and I don't want to say the same thing. They can do better. Like, instead of, oh, well, if you buy enough stuff, we'll give you another discount, and they'll just give it to you up front. I mean, they will, because you're somebody that's constantly going to be coming in. And guess what? Where they have the stuff they can mark down, whether it's parts and accessories, they also know eventually you're going to buy another bike, and you're going to come in, like, or you're going to need riding gear, or but yeah, it just frustrates me that people are relying on the online thing, which, don't get me wrong, I order stuff online from time to time because maybe I don't have time to make it over to JT Motorsports this week, and, you know, I need, you know, whatever, a wheel bearing, and I need it delivered here to my house. Okay, yeah, I'll do that. I even know some guys that work at dealerships that do that from time to time. That way, it's just convenient. But ultimately, you know, if you put out the local dealerships, I mean, where are you going to get your bikes from? Where are you going to get your parts from? And the other thing is, the mechanics that are working in there, even if you work on your own bike like I do, occasionally I get stuck. And it just happens, and Andrew won't respond to my text or whatever. So, I'll stop in and, I'll talk to the mechanic and go, hey, have you seen such and such happen? And normally they'll just say, oh, yeah, you need this. I've even had them loan me out tools before and go, here, just bring it back to me next week. No offense to Rocky Mountain ATV. They've never let me borrow any sort of motorcycle specialty tool. That you can only get that through a personal relationship.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit more about how they get that, right? So I'm sure for one, it's going to take time. And I think some of the other things that we talked about apply to this. Go into your local dealership, be a consistent customer, and then build that relationship with them. And then when you do want to kind of approach that, hey, I would like to see if I can get a deal or get things a little cheaper, take the same approach that we talked about earlier. What are you going to do for them? And sit down with them face to face. That's where they get to see your personality, who you are. Come in there, well put together, and just ask, can I sit down with a parts manager or the owner and start there and just talk to them, have a conversation with them. There are not enough people doing that. Everyone wants to pick up the phone, text, do something on paper. Bring your resume with you. Sit down, talk with them, and say, here's what I think I can do for you. I'd like to be a consistent customer here and get a little bit better deal.
Yeah, and I think you're dead on there. So if there is a downside to the building the person relationship, unless your best friend opened up a motorcycle dealership, it's going to take some time to build up. That's the downside. You're not going to necessarily get that automatic discount right up front. Now, I have walked into places before off the street and gotten 10% off or whatever, which is basically what you get online to begin with in most cases anyway.
But it's because you had a conversation or you talked about bikes or you did something different, right?
But, to get the type of discounts we get on things, it's going to take a little bit of time to build up. It's going to take a little bit of money. But the cool part is it doesn't go anywhere. I mean, those guys, and it keeps them in business. And guess what? Those guys change dealerships from time to time. Like the parts manager at one may move over to another. Well, guess what? You're probably going to get a discount over at that one. Like those sorts of things happen. It just takes a little bit of time to build up. But then, like Brian said, the intangible stuff, like, oh crap, I'm going to miss tomorrow's race, or I was getting ready to take off on this motorcycle trip and this tire, it has a puncture in it. It's not unheard of for, the owner or somebody to go over there and open up the shop after hours to get something for, a valued customer. It happens. It's not going to happen overnight, but it will happen. So yeah, that's been one of the things that I guess there are plenty, I know of a couple dealerships that maybe I don't want to deal with, but at the same time, there are so many good ones out there. You just got to go in and talk to the guys. That's it. I mean, it just starts with a conversation, and then, you might get invited on riding trips and there's all sorts of things that.
So much more than money.
Yeah.
It's way bigger than that. Like you said, it's getting harder and harder, at least on the off-road side, to find places to ride. So building those relationships and network, and then you never know who you meet through them. So I think that's where if you go into that local dealership, the benefits just, are tremendous.